Consider this for a moment. The human body is not a machine that runs on randomness. It is a profoundly ordered system, one that demands precise inputs to function at its highest potential. When those inputs are missing, the consequences are subtle at first: fatigue, weakness, lack of focus, but over time, they accumulate into something far more serious. And this is where Moringa becomes fascinating, not as a miracle cure, but as a symbol of what happens when nature and science intersect in a meaningful way. Moringa contains an unusual concentration of essential nutrients, vitamins that regulate vision and immunity, minerals that strengthen bones and blood, and amino acids that sustain muscle and cellular repair. But the deeper significance lies not merely in the list of nutrients, but in what they represent. They remind us that health is built from fundamentals. You cannot expect strength without nourishment, clarity without balance, or resilience without structure. In psychological terms, this mirrors the principle that order precedes growth. When the body receives what it truly needs, it begins to reorganize itself toward stability and strength. What makes Moringa particularly compelling is its completeness. In a world where diets are fragmented and convenience often replaces wisdom, Moringa offers a form of nutritional coherence. It supports energy without overstimulation, strength without excess, and vitality without artificial shortcuts. That balance is not accidental. It reflects the deeper truth about human nature. We thrive not on extremes but on alignment between what we consume, how we live, and what we value. And perhaps that is the real lesson here. Choosing Moringa is not merely a dietary decision, it is a philosophical statement. It is an acknowledgement that your body deserves more than survival. It deserves optimization. When you begin to nourish yourself intentionally, you are not just improving your health, you are redefining your relationship with responsibility, discipline, and self-respect, because when you consistently provide your body with what it genuinely requires, you send a powerful message to yourself that your well-being is not optional, it is foundational. In the end, the question is not whether Moringa is powerful enough to change your health, but whether you are willing to change your habits to unlock that power. And once you recognize that truth, you realize something even more profound. The smallest, most deliberate choices can become the foundation of an extraordinary life. If you examine most modern illnesses closely, a pattern begins to emerge. They rarely appear suddenly or without cause. Instead, they develop slowly, almost invisibly, driven by chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and a weakened immune system. In other words, the body is not collapsing, it is being quietly worn down. And this is where Moringa becomes more than a nutritional supplement. It becomes a strategic intervention in the body's long-term battle for stability and survival. Science shows that Moringa is rich in antioxidants and bioactive compounds that help neutralize free radicals, those unstable molecules that damage cells and accelerate aging. But beyond the biochemical details lies a deeper principle. The body is constantly negotiating between order and chaos. Inflammation, when uncontrolled, is chaos. Immunity, when supported, is order. Moringa operates at this boundary, tipping the balance toward resilience rather than deterioration. Consider the implications of that for a moment. When inflammation decreases, energy increases. When oxidative stress is reduced, clarity improves. When the immune system is strengthened, the body becomes less reactive and more adaptive. Studies suggest that Moringa may help regulate blood sugar, improve cholesterol profiles, and support vital organs such as the liver and heart. These are not minor effects. They are foundational processes that determine whether the body moves toward health or disease over time. But the psychological dimension is just as important. When you understand that your daily choices influence these invisible processes, you begin to see health not as luck, but as responsibility. You realize that every habit either strengthens your internal defenses or undermines them. Moringa, in this sense, becomes a reminder that prevention is not passive. It is an active, conscious decision to align your behavior with long-term well-being. There is something profoundly empowering about that realization. You are no longer merely reacting to symptoms, you are shaping the conditions that determine your future health. And when you adopt something as simple yet potent as Moringa into your routine, you participate in a larger transformation, a shift from fragility to robustness, from disorder to structure. Ultimately, the question is not whether inflammation and disease will challenge you. They inevitably will. The real question is whether you will equip your body with the tools it needs to respond with strength rather than surrender. Because when you choose resilience every day, you are not just protecting your health, you are consciously designing the architecture of your future. There is a crucial difference between knowing what is good for you and actually living in a way that reflects that knowledge. Most people understand, at least intellectually, that health is built through consistent habits rather than dramatic interventions. Yet the gap between understanding and action remains vast. Moringa becomes meaningful precisely at this intersection, because its true power is not revealed in occasional use, but in disciplined, daily integration. When Moringa becomes part of your routine, whether in tea, powder, capsules, or simple dietary additions, it begins to influence the rhythm of your life. Energy becomes steadier rather than fluctuating. Focus becomes sharper rather than scattered. Metabolism becomes balanced rather than reactive. These changes are subtle at first, almost unnoticeable, but over time they compound. And this is where the philosophical dimension emerges. Human transformation is rarely sudden, it is cumulative. Small, intelligent decisions, repeated consistently, quietly reshape the architecture of your body and mind. What makes this particularly profound is that daily habits are not merely biological acts, they are expressions of identity. The choices you repeat each day reveal what you truly value. When you choose to nourish yourself with something as purposeful as Moringa, you are making a statement about the kind of person you intend to become. You are rejecting the culture of shortcuts and embracing a model of long-term responsibility. In psychological terms, this is the shift from impulsivity to intentionality, from chaos to structure. There is also a deeper truth here. Clarity of mind and vitality of body are inseparable. When the body is supported with proper nutrition, the mind becomes more stable, more resilient, and more capable of confronting complexity. Moringa, in this sense, is not just about physical health. It is about creating the internal conditions necessary for meaningful thought and purposeful action. You begin to experience yourself not as someone constantly reacting to fatigue and stress, but as someone gradually mastering them. And perhaps that is the ultimate lesson. You do not transform your life through grand declarations, but through quiet, consistent commitments. Each time you choose what strengthens you over what merely satisfies you, you reinforce a deeper order within yourself. Over time, that order becomes the foundation of confidence, discipline, and self-respect. Because when a simple daily habit begins to shape your energy, your focus, and your character, you realize something extraordinary. The path to an exceptional life is not built on dramatic changes, but on deliberate choices made every single day.